If someone were to ask you about your son, what would you say?
That he's a happy 3-year-old in regards to his legs. A picture, is that what you meant? Like if they saw a picture of him and they asked him?
I meant, I don't think if someone were to ask us about him, honestly, his legs would be among like the top 10 things we'd mention.
No.
It's just so far down the list of what defines him.
It's just not what comes to mind. It's not the first thing. He's very funny. He's very creative. His sense of humor is pretty, I hate to say advanced for 3, but he is a funny little dude. And he's charming, and everyone he meets loves him. And he's handsome, and he can't help that.
Everyone does love him, and I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've used the word disabled with him, and it's felt wrong every time. I think the telling thing about how we feel about UIHC is that we still go there for a number of things that we could do here in Des Moines since we moved to Des Moines. I guess speaking of what's up with Drew, we should name the stuff. So he was born without fibulas. I guess technically his feet were kind of clubbed too, but
one more. He had
some
he had
fused
8 toes.
8 toes.
8 fingers.
He had his right leg amputated, surgery on his right hand to separate a thumb.
To give him a thumb, and he had a SIAM amputation. So basically just the foot removed. Well, it was called an ankle disarticulation.
Then when he recovered from that, at age 13 months and change, he had the same amputation on the left side. And then late March, early April, he got his prosthetic legs. The other big thing is that he's cortisol deficient.
His adrenal insufficiency.
Yeah, adrenal insufficiency. So he gets sick real easy, basically. He
And
doesn't
when
have
he
that
gets-
hormone to help him handle stressful situations, physically stressful.
When he gets sick, he stays sick, and he takes half a pill 3 times a day to help keep him healthy.
For good measure, he had eye surgery.
Yeah.
He had tubes
Twice.
We actually landed on Handicare before we knew about Drew's legs.
Before we knew, Drew had any differences at all.
Yeah.
We heard great things about it, nothing but glowing reviews. We took a tour in about 3 seconds. We knew that we would be happy there. I mean, they did a lot to help him work on his, building his trunk muscles, and they would sit him up the way we asked. Actually got a special chair for him to sit in that supported one of his physical therapists had recommended. They made sure he wasn't laying flat on his head, things that he was having problems with. They always
did what we asked.
requested, and they never made us feel like high maintenance for doing that.
Putting on prosthetic legs is not difficult, but it's time consuming. And so the temptation can be, he wakes up from a nap, just keep him out of his legs, you know. Or they're not on exactly straight. For people who don't know, prosthetic legs for kids, you have to line them up with the liner underneath and then clip them on, or the way his work. And so Handicare was doing all of that, just like we would at home. Handicare allowed his physical therapist to come in and do sessions there.
They even had a separate room for him to go when he wasn't doing his therapy in the classroom.
Them being able to go there to Handicare kept us from having to leave work to go pick him up at daycare, take him to a physical therapist, take him back to daycare, us go back to work. That's a couple hours out of your day.
It was one less thing on our list when you have a kid who needs a little extra.
Another major thing Handicare did was while Drew was learning to walk, learning to stand with prosthetic legs, he had some special equipment. A gait trainer is what they're called, and they let us keep it there. Our reasoning was he was more active for a longer period at daycare, Monday through Friday, than he was at home.
It was a couple months after we left that he started to walk, and they helped with a lot of his progress. Because, like you said, at work during the day, we weren't able to do all that, but they did. Well, and it wasn't just our son. Our daughter actually attended Handicare, too, when she was school age. They would go pick her up from school. They would take her to the after-school program and the before-school, and it was great to have one stop to pick them both up.
So, I don't know. Is there anything else? I don't really have anything else to add.
Did I mention he's handsome?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's obvious. They're going to see a bunch of pictures of him.
University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives.